we're going to get started. And this is the webinar format. So we definitely want to make this interactive, but we are not interacting verbally. We're interacting via the chat box or the Q&A box. So that's why you're not muted. We are going to change this up for next year, but I did see that in the chat. I appreciate all of you being here. I'm really excited. It's Veterans Day, so if any of you have some veterans in the family, I know my dad was a Korean War vet. Thank you, and thank your family for their service. And I really appreciate you spending your lunch with me today. We're going to be a couple housekeeping things before we get started. We're going to be spending the next 60 minutes together. This is really for you. So I know you can unmute yourself, but I definitely want you to chat us up in the chat box or ask questions along the way. You'll see in the agenda that comes next that we are going to take a poll so I can get a sense of what your priority is for this 60 minutes. What do you want to walk away from in terms of knowing how PIHRA can help you with your career, your HR knowledge building, and networking, because that's all really important. Also, within an hour after this webinar, we are going to send you a copy of the slides and a lot of links to URLs based on the feedback that you've provided for us in terms of the questions and the additional research and knowledge that you want to build. So you will be getting an email from either me or Lisette with a copy of these slides. So thank you so much. I also want to encourage you to start networking now. So I usually put my links in the chat, and I just did that. And I am, because this is virtual, just want to let you know I'm coming from the downtown LA area. So please let us know where you're coming in from, where you're zooming in from. And, if you're comfortable, share your LinkedIn, because the networking starts now. So I'm in the welcome and general update section. We're going through the agenda now. We're then going to go into a poll. So Lisette, who you see here, who is on my team, she's going to launch a poll and start thinking about what do you want to walk away from this 60 minutes from? What is your top priority? Now, you're only going to get one choice. So if there's other things that you want to walk away with, just put it in the chat, and I guarantee that I'll get to it. If I can't get to it, I can't answer your question today, I will make sure to either follow up with an email or schedule some time with you. There's some things that are pretty unique to each individual and to each member. So it might mean us spending some time on a phone call afterwards that we could schedule. I'm going to introduce my team. You kind of already know me, but we're going to do a little bit of more of a formal introduction. And then I'm really excited to have a special guest today, Gayane Voskanyan, and she's going to be able to pronounce her name for you. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing it well. And she's a vice chair. She's one of our volunteer leaders. She's a vice chair of PIHRA Burbank, Glendale, which is one of our 17 chapters. So really excited to introduce you to Gayane. Then we're going to do a brief overview of PIHRA and talk about member benefits, talk about learning and networking at PIHRA, and then wrap it up with making sure that we answer any questions that you have. I see a lot of things in the chat. So just so you know, I may be stopping from time to time. Lisette, who you see, and she's going to introduce herself in a moment, she's monitoring the chat, but I like to see what's going on in there so I can agree. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Laura. Hi, Anne-Marie. Kevin, welcome. Latoya, welcome. And Cassandra, thank you so much for joining. All of you, thank you so much. Okay, so now with the general update. We're coming out of this 2 years of pandemic, and throughout the whole time, your health and safety and you being prepared to deal with the pandemic and other laws that affect the workplace have been our priority. So back in, I believe it was June of last year, a lot of our chapters, so we shut down. Lisette and I have been working remotely since March 2020. A lot of our team has moved. Some have moved on, with the Great Resignation. Some people started their own firms. Two of our great team members, they went on to be the CEOs of their own association. So a lot of change, but our chapters stuck it out. And Gayane can talk to you about what Burbank Glendale has done. Many started opening. Some are meeting consistently. Some are meeting every other month. Some, it took a little bit of time. So, but we were excited that we went virtual during this time. So we had been playing around with webinars here and there, but the pandemic really intensified the need for us to use technology in a different way. So you can see that we have at least 2 to 3 webinars each month, and they're free for members. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Please visit the PIHRA calendar to see what our chapters are doing, what webinars we have going on. That's going to be the most reliable place for you to see, one, what programs our chapters are putting on, 2, where they're meeting and the date they're meeting. Like I said a little bit previously, is our team got shook up. So our website might not be updated in all areas, but I can guarantee you that our calendar is, so go there. That's really it for a general update. Let's see what's in the chat. Anything in the chat I should be aware of? No, great, a lot of networking. Good. Okay, so as promised, before we get started, and I like to talk, but I want to really be focused on what you want. So at least let's launch a poll. I'd like all of you, I think there's at least 10, there's 3 of us and 10 of you on this Zoom meeting today. Let me know, what is your number 1 priority in terms of this webinar today? What do you want to walk away with in terms of more information about PIHRA and how it can help you? So 2 people volunteering. I got volunteering, benefits, seminars. Great. Networking. All right. 11 of you have participated. Anybody else left, Elisa, that we're missing?
Yes, one more person. So there's
okay,
13,
let's give it another 10 seconds. That 13th person. Seminars is a top contender here. 50% of you want to know about seminars and conferences. Networking comes in, benefits, and volunteering. Other, all right, others in there. So please put in the chat if you have a second priority here. We're sharing the results. A lot of people want to spend time on PIHRA seminars and conferences. I'm going to talk about that. And if you have anything, any specific questions about our seminars and conferences, I'll let you know. And then for the person who said other, please put that in the chat so that we can, if I could address it on live, I will. If not, we could schedule some time afterwards. So let's stop sharing. I'm going to stop sharing and exit. All right, so we're good with that. Thank you so much for letting us know what you want to walk away from. And if you have specific questions about seminars and conferences, please let me know, but I'll go through some of we have 2 major ones. So a little bit about the team, the membership team here at PIHRA. My name is Lily Arguello. I'm on staff, so I'm not a volunteer leader. I'm the director of membership. I am really passionate about working with organizations and people to help them be successful. My background is in organizational development. I was doing consulting, and then I wanted to go internal and ended up not going internal in OD or HR, but actually going into the nonprofit sector. And I ended up at the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles doing partnership building. And I don't know if you know this, but Girl Scouts is one of the biggest leadership development programs for young women in the country, and I think in the world. There's guias and guides in the rest of the world. So I got this job at PIHRA through LinkedIn, because I had been a member of PIHRA before I ever dreamed of being on staff. I joined PIHRA and got connected with PIHRA Long Beach. So shout out for PIHRA Long Beach, sorry, Gayane. And I just thought this was a perfect marriage.
Lily, it's okay.
But I gotta say, I'll prep Gayane that Burbank Glendale is the funnest chapter because they are like super fun. And Gayane can talk about that. I just went to one of their socials. It was really fun at Barney's Beanery. Right? That was with you guys, no? Were you there?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was like, uh-oh. So this is a great marriage between my OD work, my work at the Girl Scouts of Greater LA, and my passion for working with people. So I'm very accessible. The best way to get a hold of me is via email, but you can call as well. And my expectation of myself and of my team is that we get back to you within 24 hours of a work week. So really want you to not hesitate to email or call us. We'll get back to you, if not right away, in the next 24 hours. So with that, Lisette's been muted, but I want you to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Lily. I've been chatting up with our attendees during the webinar so far. I am Lisette. As you can see, I'm keeping track of the chat, monitoring the chat, making sure that your questions are answered. So feel free to type your questions. I will do my best to interrupt Lily so that she can address them. But a little bit about me, I have been with PIHRA for about 6 years now, I think. It's gone by so fast. I feel like since COVID, time just flew in. I'm like, wow, 6 years already. But it's been great. Lily and I are very passionate about what we do. We're passionate about our members, and we really strive to make sure that you have what you need and that you are getting the most out of your membership. So we are very accessible. I'm usually the first person you speak to if you dial the main number. So feel free to give us a call. Give me a call as well if you have any questions regarding your membership benefits, or if we couldn't address any some of your questions during the webinar, we'll be happy to answer afterwards. So I'll return it back to you, Lily.
Thank you, Lisette. She's my right hand, so she knows pretty much everything I'm doing, and we stay in constant communication. I'm just like that. So, but she does her thing, and she's there to help you with any questions you have if you feel like you didn't get your questions answered here. I also want to introduce you to a person on this slide, Matthew Pallets. He is my liaison on the board. So one of you talked about volunteer leadership and one of you talked about networking. We are primarily volunteer led. And you're going to hear that throughout this webinar. He is a great partner on the board. He's an advocate for our members. He represents you at the board level. So feel free to reach out to him at his email address or even through me if you want to meet him directly. He's usually at events with me. And we could talk a little bit about that. But he's very accessible and a great role model for our volunteers. So I talk about volunteer and networking together because I think if you're interested in networking in the HR space, volunteer. Volunteering is like networking on steroids. People get to know your work ethic. They get to know you, how you plan, your communication skills. So I saw that someone wrote they were in transition. I would absolutely recommend that you volunteer with one of our chapters. That would be the first line, and we could talk about that separately, and I'm happy to make introductions for you. But we know that between 60 and 80% of the last statistic I saw through the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I think that's the name of them, is that between 70 to 75 people who find a job find it through their network. So I don't think that's changed. So volunteering is a great way for people to get to know you. And the next time they hear of a position, they'll think of you. So, and a great way to hone your leadership skills, even if you are working, leadership and being able to work with people and planning and time management and all those things really help influence your trajectory in terms of your career. So that's I told you we talk a lot. So Matt's a great partner. Now, I'm so happy to introduce you to Gayane. Gayane, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, thank you, Lily and Elizabeth, for having me today, and welcome everyone. I'm very honored to be here to share my excitement and experience as a volunteer leader with all of you, in the hopes of to really inspire you all to do the same, to get involved as much as you can, because it's definitely worth it. You know, PIHRA to me, I'm just gonna kind of high level tell you what PIHRA means to me as a leader, as a volunteer leader. To me, it's like PIHRA's been my friend since college, I would say. Just to summarize what PIHRA really comes down to me, it would be in 3 bullet points: community, source of knowledge, and also place of support. You know, ever since I was a student at CSUN many moons ago, and I'm not going to tell you the year, you know, I was a very private and very socially awkward person, but because I decided to get into human resources, that was my goal since high school. I know HR, most people fall into it. I had that vision since high school. So once I got into CSUN, I decided to join very hesitantly, but I convinced myself I'm going to be more involved. So I became a member of the student chapter of the management organization. And through that, I got to know a liaison from the parent chapter, Annabelle, who was actually my gate to the parent PIHRA. Because of her, I became more involved in the parent organization PIHRA. And fun fact, actually, Annabelle being our professional mentor of the student chapter, she became my first employer where I got my first HR job. So that connection, that support, it's always there. And not only that, being part of this community, you know, you really have a source of knowledge where you can actually go to without trying to find where you can find the knowledge. The resources, the tools, it's abundantly available to you through PIHRA. But to me, the most valuable source of knowledge was that human contact. All the professionals that you meet through this organization, they really are your first go-to. Right now, if I have a legal question, or if because HR is always evolving. I mean, I wish I could say I know everything, but I do not. So if I have a question and I'm not clear about something, my board members or Lily or anyone from PIHRA, I can easily text or email and ask the question and get an answer without even blinking an eye, because I know there is a community there with the resources, with the knowledge that can help you.
Hey, I have to ask, is that Annabelle Baltierra?
Yes.
Oh my God, she's still involved. So
yes.
Yeah, for all of you, I just want to emphasize that some of our volunteers, I know when in PIHRA Long Beach, one of the women there said she met her best friend through PIHRA. The other volunteer said she has her HR Fab Five. So I talk about this later, but this is where you're going to build your HR board of directors. So the people that you have on your speed dial, if something comes up that maybe you haven't addressed before, or maybe you just need a second pair of eyes. And these are the people that are going to keep confidentiality, because there are sensitive topics sometimes, and tell you about their experience and how they handled it, or maybe where to go to a resource, or maybe where to get a good attorney.
Exactly.
Like that.
Another fun fact, actually, one of my board members, the legal affair chair, ended up being our company employment attorney. Again, connections, you know, that support, it's always there. And of course, you know, if you're going through transition, I know Kevin said that he's going through transition. Anyone who's really starting in the field of HR, or just simply needs a refresher or needs guidance, you know, PIHRA community is there. Your board members are there to help. And again, if it's not for PIHRA, I would have never met all these amazing individuals. And on top of that, another fun fact, my current chair, Armine, I met her through PIHRA many moons ago. she became the chair of PIHRA, and then she actually asked me to continue as her vice chair, but she recommended me to this role that I'm currently in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's because of her I am where I'm sitting right now. So that tells you a great value what PIHRA can bring to the table. And being really a volunteer leader for so many years, I don't even remember, Lily, I don't even remember how many years. I feel
think
like
you've been like membership chair and like something else.
treasurer, social media chair, communication chair. Yeah, I've had it. I've held all the positions.
And by the way, Gayane does other work in the community. So, I mean, if you're thinking, I don't have time to volunteer, Gayane is involved in several other passion causes. I read your bio. And so, I'm also involved, actually not a lot anymore. I had to kind of let some things go, but involved in other work. So if it's not with PIHRA, volunteer with other groups that you're passionate about, because they're all networks. I mean, you never know who you're going to meet. So Gayane, I'm just going to move forward because I know there's some other questions and people want to focus on seminars and conferences. So, but keep chiming in as we go. Yeah. So just to give you a quick overview, this is our mission statement. I'm not going to read it to you. We've been talking about it. We exist for the HR community in California. We part of what we want to do for you is provide you with the professional development that you need to be successful as an individual and to propel your career, but also to help your organization be successful and profitable. And we do that through webinars, conferences, and then this high impact networking. Honestly, Armine and Gayane, not only is it about learning from each other and networking with each other, but they're just wonderful people to be around. And that's the one thing that I think differentiates the PIHRA community. Someone out there asked, what's the difference between SHRM and PIHRA? So PIHRA is the largest SHRM affiliate in the country. We're a chapter in good standing of SHRM, but we're the largest, so we have our own chapters as well. It's important to note that we're separate entities. So you have your SHRM membership, and then you would have your PIHRA membership. Both memberships go really well hand in hand. I think we can compete with SHRM with their awesome newsletters. I love those newsletters. They give you a subject line. They tell you what's happening. If you're interested in it, you could dive deeper, and they're very timely. We just don't have the team for that. They have the HR magazine. They have white papers that are cutting edge on HR technology and just a lot of resources. I mean, to give you scope, right now, our membership is constricted a little bit, which I'm a little concerned about, but we're coming out of a pandemic, and I don't know what this financial climate is about, but we have 3,800 members, and we're the largest chapter. They have 200,000 members throughout the world. So just to give you an idea of scope. So that's a relationship between PIHRA and SHRM. We are separate, but we go really well together. At some point they were saying it's like peanut butter and jelly, I don't know I think we're the jelly. And what I forgot to say is what we bring to the table is this local community. We have the largest local community of HR professionals anywhere in the world. So this is where you're going to be able to get the affordable and accessible professional development. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm actually going to challenge you all to register for an event in the next month or so. We have a lot of events coming up. Gayane has an event coming up next month. So it's pretty affordable when you compare it with other HR associations or SHRM, including our conferences and seminars. So as I mentioned, we have a staff. We're one of the SHRM affiliates that has the largest staff. I don't know if we're the largest anymore because we've gotten a little leaner. I know SHRM Atlanta has a staff, but we're primarily volunteer led. So I'm going to introduce you to some folks on this slide. Tara Fournier is the 2022 president of the board. So if you're interested in volunteer leadership, I suggest you start at the chapter level, and then you can go to the board level, which is association wide. She has worked with SHRM before. She's certified through HRCI and SHRM, and right now she's the global head of HR for Amobi. I mean, I really credit her for keeping us together during the pandemic and keeping our board together. And she's very accessible, and you could usually see her at our conferences and seminars. Rafael Rivera, he's our CEO. He's our boss, so he's my boss. And I really credit him. He joined, gosh, now it's 13 years. I've been here since 2014. That's a lot of years. It's going to go on 8 years. I love it here. I love PIHRA. I love my team. I credit him for building a fantastic team and keeping this together. But more importantly for you, he really refreshed the PIHRA annual conference, and he rebranded to the California HR conference. It was in 2019 the largest HR conference on the West Coast, and really creating some top-notch programming as well. So if you like this webinar, feel free to reach out to Rafael. I'll give you his email address. Or if you have any comments on things to be improved, you can reach out to him as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, if I can get there, our membership demographics. I see that. Great. I do see that question. Go ahead.
We had a question from Colin if the programs and webinars are eligible for SHRM certification credits.
Most are, yes, Colin. Most of our chapter meetings are, you can receive. So I think Gayane, the meetings that Burbank Glendale do, they're an hour and 15 minutes long. Is that right? So you get an hour 0.25 credits from HRCI and SHRM. It's very seldom that you won't be able to receive recertification credits for our programming. So yeah, and our conferences, I think we're going to talk about the California Employment Law Update. I did see that someone had a question. We just did that in Burbank. Gayane was there volunteering and being a bright smile, greeting everybody. And we did that on October 19th, I think it was. And you were able to receive 9 recertification credits. And if you are certified through and have the California designation, PHR California, I think around 7 to 8 of those credits you can use for that certification, which is a special certification that I highly recommend, if you haven't heard about it, to look into it. It really shows that you build mastery on California employment law, and it's a great certification. SHRM has something similar as well in terms of a California employment law certification. So just really quickly, who's a member? So I do have to update these numbers. I've been not wanting to because our membership is down. So right around now, we're at 3,800 members. But so these numbers are approximately correct. Right around 37% of our members are HR certified through HRCI or SHRM. Those are the 2 main HR certification agencies. We're not a certification agency, but we do provide prep courses. So if anyone's interested in that, and we do help you recertify through the professional development, and we could talk a little bit more about that too. It's really going to be hard to see, but 42% of our members are at the HR manager, HR business partner, or generalist level, and then 26% are at the HR director and above level. Another important indication of our membership is what I call service providers. Those are the natural HR partners. So the insurance brokers, the financial advisors, the staffing folks. Don't be afraid of them. A lot of them that they're either volunteer leaders or they've been members for a long time. They're really just about connecting people, and they usually don't come across very aggressive in terms of sales. So don't be afraid of them. If they do come off a little aggressively, let me know, because I can have a chat with them. Really quickly, this is our geographic footprint. So this is a map of our 17 chapters. Like I said, as a member, you can go to any chapter meeting at the member rate. And our largest chapter, and all of these chapters before the pandemic were meeting monthly. So now they're not meeting necessarily monthly. I think Burbank Glendale's meeting monthly, North OC is meeting monthly, Ventura County started meeting monthly just recently. South OC is our largest chapter. Before pandemic, they had 700 members. So at their meetings, you could have expected to meet up to 100 people at their meetings. Well, that's gotten a little smaller, and they're meeting every other month. So I think they're doing a social 1 month in the evenings and then a professional development event. I think they have a social coming up soon. Anything in the chat that I should look out for?
No, Lily, not yet.
Great. So you were asking about our seminars and conferences. So we do have them, and I'll talk a little bit about them in a second, but our chapter meetings are where you can get quick, affordable, impactful, consistent professional development. So I know some of you like to wait for the conference because you get all your recertification credits at once, but this is where you're going to meet people, and you could look at our calendar to see if this is a topic that I want. I know someone asked about a specific topic at the California employment law update. I don't know. I mean, that's something we could point you to see if there was a speaker on that topic, but I don't know specifically if that topic was covered. What was that topic, Elisette? Can you remind me?
Yeah, I believe it was pay transparency for January 2023.
I don't know if there was pay transparency. Do you guys remember if there was pay? I know we had to meet speakers on pay equity, but I have to research that a little bit more. I don't know if we did pay transparency.
General.
Yeah, wage and hour. It might have been covered under wage and hour, but nothing specific to that is my impression.
Yeah.
So,
Now, Lily, just to
go ahead.
interject here real quick. So our chapter, just so everybody is aware, we do meet every fourth Tuesday. Obviously, we just had our November, but our next one will be in December 13th. And the topic, if you're any of you interested, is going to be workplace harassment and discrimination, what every HR professional needs to know. And it is held at Hotel Amarano in Burbank. If you'd like to connect with me, I included my LinkedIn in the chat. Go ahead and connect with me and I'll give you more information. And it's in person. I think we're one of the, the first chapters who started in person since this year. So ours is in-person meetings.
Yeah, Gayane, can you talk a little bit about what it's like to go to one of those meetings? Like, I think there's a networking component, and then there's a meal.
Yes.
Walk us through that.
Yes, ours is set at 11:30, which it's lunchtime, which is very manageable because you can just come in, have lunch, and then leave. But we usually have our registration and networking from 11:30 to 12. And then you can actually eat lunch, and yummy lunch. And then the speaker will go ahead and start their presentation until 1 o'clock. And then we give a few minutes for questions, and then we're out by 1:30. So it's very, very quick, very focused, but you do gain a lot of information. And this is the perfect place, anyone who's in transition, to come and really get to know professionals who do attend. And you never know, you might find your next employer in that room. That's why I like that in-person connection, because you actually can speak to everybody in the room. So that's kind of how our platform is, and we will continue the same next year.
Right. And just so you know, there is a separate cost for the in-person meetings, because we got to pay for the meal, we got to pay for the hotel, and so that's always the case. So you would pay for your membership, and then you pay for these chapter meetings. I did see there was a question. Not all chapters do in person. Some do webinars. So the webinars aren't really a meeting per se, but it's, for example, I think PIHRA Los Angeles is doing a professional development webinar that's coming up. And I have a list of those at the end of this presentation, so you can write down and register quickly for the next one that you're going to attend. And I have to check. the webinars that the chapters put on, sometimes you can get recertification credit. It really depends on whether it's approved by HRCI. Usually it gets approved by SHRM. We have actually three specialty groups. We have a group out of North San Diego. You know, during the pandemic, they kind of went a little bit dark, so they haven't been meeting as much, but I am hoping that they meet a little bit more in the following year. We have the PIHRA Foundation, which is a separate entity. They exist to raise money for scholarships for people who are interested in growing their HR career. Their scholarship window just opened, and you can get scholarships from $500 to $3,000. I think there's two types of scholarships. There's one for HR degree. So if you or someone you know is receiving their degree in HR, please encourage them to apply for this scholarship. Not a lot of people apply. There's also another one. If you are interested in getting your HR certification, please apply for this. Now, that I believe, and I don't know how the HR degree one works, but I think the HR certification one works in that you take the exam, you prepare yourself, you take the exam, you pay for that on your own, and then once you pass, they reimburse you the amount that you were awarded. That's how it used to work. So I'm not sure if that's how it works now. We also have an emerging leaders group. They've kind of, so if any of you are interested in volunteering, they probably need some volunteer leadership on their group. They went a little dark. I think a lot of people and during the pandemic, they just have a lot more going on in their lives. They're caretaking, they're busier at work. So another great opportunity to volunteer, by the way. But they've done speed mentoring events. They've done some community service together, and they do career development sorts of things as well. So if you're in transition, you're invited to go. You don't have to be a certain age or a certain type of person. So anyone can go to these events. And I see some things in the chat. So all right, Kimberly, you're a new Long Beach member. Wonderful. I don't see anything else. I'm going to keep going. Okay. So I'm getting to the learning and development. I'm trying to get there quickly because I know most of you had questions about this. So I've calculated that the PIHRA benefits, you pay $150 to $175 to become a member for the year, and you get around $4,700, $4,900 worth of benefits. One of the great benefits right now is that all of the webinars that we give, so that PIHRA Los Angeles one that's coming up that you're going to see in a slide soon, it's free for you, and you can get recertification credit. But I think, like Gayane kicked us off with those 3 bullet points, it's about the community. So building your HR board of advisors or your HR Fab 5, it's priceless. Like I said, my friend in PIHRA Long Beach, Paula Cohn, she met her best friend through PIHRA, and they go to a lot of PIHRA events. I think she took a little bit of a hiatus recently, but you can see them even at emerging leader events. They're fantastic, and they've been PIHRA members for 20, 25 years. This is where you're going to build your HR expertise, whether it is employment law, which I think that's highly sought after by employers right now, because who they need someone that help them mitigate the suits that can come up against them, but also increase your earning power. I recently got my SHRM SCP, and the statistics out there is that you can increase your salary by $20,000 with a senior certification. And I definitely got a salary increase when I got this. It's not easy. So if you're interested, know that you have to dedicate yourself to this, but it's definitely worth it. And then you could save time and money through the PIHRA workplace. And now we got some special developments coming up in 2023, and we're doing a webinar next month about it. But just so you know, there's this compliance center, and this is all free with your membership. It includes a job description builder, a salary comparison tool, an employee handbook builder, hundreds of templates and compliant job applications and whatever you need is on there. It just, you got to spend some time there. We also have what we call PIHRA Live, which is an HR hotline. I definitely, if you're a member, write this number down. And if they say you're still not in the system, call me or Lisette right away. We'll get you in the system. It might just be that there was a problem on the back end, or that you became a member in the last 3-4 weeks and we just haven't gotten a chance to upload you. But you can call senior certified HR practitioners with any questions you have. Now, they're not attorneys, so they, I wouldn't rely on them on the final, hey, this is the law, but they can point you to law, they can point you to templates. They usually pick up right away, and then they follow up with an email. Just that, if you were to pay for something on your own, would be $1,200 a year. So the exciting thing that's coming up is what I call PIHRA Learn. So we had included that in the benefits in the past, then it got too expensive for us. We're bringing it back. So you will get access to PIHRA Learn starting January 1, 2023. And it's an enterprise-wide learning management system. And what that means is that you could train your employees. You could set up learning tracks for them. It includes most of their core classes. The ones that I know you have to upgrade to are the sexual harassment training. So it includes the mandatory sexual harassment training, but you have to pay for it. So it's on the system, but you got to upgrade for it. I think the other upgrade is some safety training. So OSHA, mandatory OSHA training, you would have to upgrade for that. But there's all kinds of different modules on there. You could even upload your own modules. So I'm really excited that that's going to be a new benefit coming up for you all in 2023. I don't see any questions. Career Center. So I think it's Kevin. Check out the Career Center. I think you could find a career coach on there. They may even provide you a 30-minute free counseling session. And Lisette knows more about that than I do. Upload your resume. This is where employers come to find HR experts. So there's also online modules on how to build your resume, and you could set up a job alert. So if there's a certain sort of position that you're interested in, you could set that up and it'll push notifications about that sort of position up. Also, I got my job off of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is another great place. We're not the end all. I want you to be a member, and I want you to use PIHRA resources, but there's a lot of resources out there. I want you to be connected with something. If it's not SHRM or PIHRA, let it be something else. But let's not do this alone. I think that's what I learned out of the pandemic, is that we need to be with each other. We need to connect. I am connecting more now than ever. So please take care of yourself first and foremost. But check out the Career Center. If you subscribe, also, I think you get 2 emails a month, or at least 1 email a month with the latest jobs that have just come out. Like, for example, I think they're looking for a director of people at Girl Scouts of LA. So you want to be a part of an organization like that, check that out as well. And I know we have someone on our volunteer leadership team that worked there in the past in HR. So we could always find out more about that. Volunteer. I've been talking about that.
There is a question. I'm so sorry. Anna Marie says, is it free to post on the Career Center?
So if you have a job that you're posting that is not free, there is a charge. If you are part of a larger HR team and want to get all of your team a PIHRA membership, that is called the PIHRA HR team membership. And that sort of membership, it's kind of like a corporate membership. And Elisa, can you put that in the chat, the link, in case you're interested, Anne-Marie? That does come with some free job postings. The job postings is usually not enough. You want kind of a package, but I do believe that members get 30%, at least 30% off a job posting at the Career Center. So I hope that answers that question. Oh my God, is someone doing the Richard Dawson class? Don't let me get on my Richard Dawson soapbox. He's, I think, the best HR certification prep instructor in the country. That's all I got to say. So, Gayane, did you want to talk a little bit about either volunteerism or HR prep?
Well, volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. Just like you said, you will never regret it. I mean, it sounds like a lot of work, right? People are very afraid to volunteer because they're like, oh my gosh, it's going to take so much out of my other things. But trust you me, it's really not that scary. I've been doing volunteering, as Lily said, not only with PIHRA, but I also am part of other non-organizations, not-profit organizations. And I have to tell you, I do it all. As long as you know how to kind of manage your time, it's very manageable. PIHRA doesn't take that much time out of your day. You just need to be passionate about it and you need to really want to do it. If you have those two characteristics, then this is absolutely the place to be. So
yeah, I mean, not only do you get what's in it for me is, the connections and things like that, but when I help someone, I know that's it. I've helped someone get to where they want to be, and I feel so much self-esteem from that, and satisfaction.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. It helps you, energize you for the other things that you don't really want to do. So volunteer. It'll help your career. It'll help you. You're healthier when you volunteer. So yeah. Anyway, that's my soapbox on volunteers. Now, this is for a lot of you had a lot of questions. So let's talk about this. I think that there's no questions that I need to address yet. So we have a lot of different learning opportunities. We have virtual learning. So remember, go to the calendar. If you are interested in any sorts of learning, let us know, because or reach out to, and I can connect you with your chapter leadership. They might be interested in doing paid transparency. So if you're interested in that, let's get you connected with the volunteer leaders. They're really open. And so they might be able to find an attorney to do that sort of thing in early to 2023. So we're really open to your suggestions. We have our PIHRA conference. That's coming up in May in Long Beach. I'm really excited. It's May 8th through the 10th. We're doing 2 full days of HR learning. But I like the conference because it's so fun. I meet all of our members. They're so excited to be there. They're learning, they're interacting. The speakers are great. You earn recertification credits. We have a Monday night party and a Tuesday night party. And it's just
party all around.
It is kind of a party, but and sometimes I feel like people think, oh, that's silly of Lily to talk about, there's a reception and there's a party. But when you learn in community, it makes a bigger impact. So it's not just about the party. It's about really bonding with people, whether it's over dance, whether it's over a meal, whether it's over a drink, non-alcoholic or alcoholic. You're really getting to know people in a different level. And you could ask, hey, is this what you heard that keynote say earlier? Because that's what you're absorbing and you're taking back. And then bring your teams, because it's a great team building opportunity as well. So we're going to be there May 8th through 9th, Long Beach Convention and Entertainment Center. And not only are you going to get a lot of professional development, but you're going to meet a lot of kind, warm, fun, interactive people. So please, if it's not in your budget, it's not very expensive to go. I think it's right around $1,200. I think we're doing a package that includes a hotel room if you're out of the way. So that's not up on the website yet, but it's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So think about that. We just did the California Employment Law update. We have that on demand, which we're going to share. I think I have a slide on here. We do specialty programs, PIHRA Real HR, HR Talent and Tech, Strategic Leader. We're doing an executive invite only exclusive sort of event as well. If you're interested in that, let me know. Members get better rates. So don't want to be a member? I understand. Check it out for a couple of weeks. Visit. I am all about go to a couple of chapter meetings. Go to Burbank, Glendale, then go to Burbank, then go to PIHRA Pasadena. Go where you feel you connect. You're not going to connect with everybody. That's okay, right, Gayane?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But what I know is that I do business and I work best with the people I like. So, not everyone's going to like me. I get it. And I'm not doing the same thing, right? So go to where you feel comfortable. If you want me to introduce you to someone, I'd be delighted to do an introduction via email. So those are the member rates. Any specific questions about that I'm not covering about our seminars and conferences, please put it in the chat so we can cover it now. Free webinars. I'm going to give you a list of some things that are coming up before we're done. So I challenge you to register for one of these events that are coming up. There's a lot coming up in November and December. So finish the year strong. California Employment Law Update. If you weren't able to attend it, if you attended either virtually or in person, it came with on demand. But if you didn't know about it and you weren't able to sign up for that, you can now purchase on demand. There's, I think, 9 different sessions, and you can receive 9 recertification credits for this. The costs for a PIHRA member, it's $99, and for a non-member, it's $149. It'll be available to you for 6 months once you purchase it, and you can purchase it up to 12/31/2022. So you have 6 months to view it. So it's never too late to be prepared with knowing what's coming down the pipeline with respect to employment law. You want to know what's going on. This is the event that I'm a part of that I'm going to invite you all to. It's a speed networking event. It's going to be fun. It's only $5 on December 1st. I have 16 subject matter experts in HR that are going to lead 3 15-minute speed networking events. I'm really excited about it. Have you heard about this, Gayane?
No, that sounds fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fast. You could do it from home or from the office. So it's not in person. I have a DEI expert. I have an expert, Dr. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his name, Sipspersky. He's an expert on remote work and hybrid teams. Jocelyn Chan is from Southern California Edison. Henry, I think you said you were from SCE. She's doing a roundtable on emerging leadership and leadership development. Maybe you know her. We have employment, we have compensation being covered. We have employment relations, talent acquisition, talent management, HR strategy, a lot is being covered. Please come. It's going to be fun. Me and my friend Jennifer Blair, who is the immediate past president of PIHRA Los Angeles, are going to be emceeing that night. There's going to be prizes. And, I always have to throw in some prizes because the fun part. I see something in the chat.
Anne Marie says, I'm at SoCal.
Oh, whoops. Okay, another utility. Well, you should come so you can meet Jocelyn. So that's something coming up. Get certified. The last SHRM SCP certification classes, I think, just started or are starting, but we're going to have some more next year. I highly recommend it. And I think I'm going to end on time, which is fantastic. Okay, so I said I challenge each of you to go register for an event and go to one of these events. South Bay had an event yesterday, so a lot of our chapters do mini employment law updates. So they just had one yesterday. That was in person. We're doing a special event on Monday. If you want to get to know some of our longest time members, we have a past president, Mike DeBlue, who we want to recognize. That'll be interesting. PIHRA South OC is meeting on Wednesday of next week, I guess, and that's in person. It's managing stress, in the workplace during the holidays, budgeting season. At least this is our budgeting season. So it gets a little stressful. We have a chapter in Coachella Valley. This is the one I was telling you about on the 16th. We have a lot going on the 16th. PIHRA Los Angeles is having an early morning webinar. I think it starts at 8:30. It's either 7:30 through 9. It starts in the morning. Making wellness work. I'm not sure if you can get recertification credits, but it's free. We also have a webinar in the afternoon that's free. It's on immigration. So immigration law is going to be covered. PIHRA Ventura County is meeting. Long Beach is meeting on the 17th. I saw someone in Long Beach. They're doing an employee engagement piece. And North OC, who's also very consistent, Gayane, they're having their holiday social at Coyote Hills. If you guys are in that area, that's a beautiful country club. I did an event there, and they're great. Gayane, do you want to invite everybody again to what Burbank Glendale has coming up?
Yes, absolutely. Ours is next month. It's actually going to be on the 13th, as I mentioned, at 11:30. It's going to be a lunch seminar, and it's going to be about workplace harassment and discrimination, what each HR professional needs to know. It's going to be in Burbank Hotel Amorano. Again, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, please do so, because I do share that information on LinkedIn as well. And hope to see you all there.
What's the date again? I'm sorry.
The 13th.
December 13th. Great. And it's a lunch. I like that you do lunches because it's hard for me to get to the early morning one.
I know.
Some of our chapters meet early morning. I have a young child, so I got to get them to school, and it's just not easy for me. But the lunch ones I can go. I can take a little time out for. Please connect. Like I said earlier, stay connected with the community. If it's not the PIHRA HR community, find a community for yourself that's out there. There's a lot out there that are HR related, career related. We also have online communities. I think our PIHRA LinkedIn group is the strongest. We have a group that is 12,000 people are involved in that. We also have our company page, so check that out. Just look us up. PIHRA. That's the strongest community we have. We're also on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We started on Instagram. I did my first TikTok video, and I'm putting that up on LinkedIn. But stay connected, all of you. I don't know if we have a couple more minutes. Is there any other questions that I can address? Well, thank you all for being with me today. My name is Lily Arguello. I'm the Director of Membership. Please reach out to me. Here's my contact information. You're going to get an email with all this information in the next hour or so. And really appreciate all of you. I hope that PIHRA can help you reach your goals in terms of your career and finding that great job or your next great opportunity. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend. Gayane, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It
Wonderful.
was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Great. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Have a good night. Oh, great. Kimberly signed up for the speed networking. Great. All right, I'll stop. Have a good night, everybody.